Hello everyone, Frost here. Welcome back to a new episode of Rags to Riches. In our previous episode we covered 2 grinding spots, one for mid-levels and one high-end spot. Today we're going to explore another high-end spot with great potential. This marks the episode 9 of the series, something that turned out to be very successful on this channel. Apparently, you guys really enjoy the format where we combine lore with gold. In our latest video, we said that if it reaches 3000 likes in the span of 1 week, we're going to make a part 2. The video received 2500 in the first 48 hours, and I thought to make a similar challenge for this. If this clip reaches 3000 likes in 3 days, I'm going to make a custom classic WoW themed PC from an old office pre-build, complete with World of Warcraft art, RGB, and power to run most of the current games in 1080p. All this with a budget of $300. Getting back on topic, please check the timestamps in the description down below, and without further ado, let's explore. In order to do this, we have to venture to the desert of Silithus. Though uninhabited for the majority of vanilla WoW, one of the most epic storylines came from here. Sealed behind the scarab wall was an ancient temple crawling with enemies we barely understood. But the Kiraji were venturing out from behind that wall, and it earned the concern of the bronze dragonflight. They knew what lurked in the depths of Ankiraj, and it had to be stopped before the Kiraji and the old god they worshipped consumed the whole of Azeroth. A temple was built to serve as a prison for Khotun and his minions, a temple that was leaking, and the old god of madness and chaos was getting ready to have his revenge for 1,000 years of imprisonment. The issue had to be dealt with, and the only way to stop it was to cut it from the root, go straight to the core, and neutralize the old god. But first, the scarab wall had to be opened. The gates of Ankiraj were sealed by powerful magic, and to be opened, the brave heroes of Azeroth had to go through a number of trials to reconstruct a long-lost artifact, the Scepter of the Shifting Sands. This scepter was used to open the scarab wall, but behind them a mighty Kiraji army was waiting. To repel it, the combined military might of both Alliance and Horde had to be ready outside the wall. And to be ready, a great number of supplies to gather: food, bandages, metals, and herbs. Once all was ready, the hero that held the scepter had to open the gates, and the Ankiraj war to begin. Through the course of the scepter's reconstruction, people of Azeroth learned about the old War of the Shifting Sands, and the more they discovered, the bigger the threat became in their eyes. Enormous efforts were made during that time, both individual and group. Heroes were made, and their names echo even today. And the threat of Kiraji was a force to be reckoned with, one that could not be dealt by one faction over the other. For the first time since the Third War, both Alliance and Horde came together into one massive army, the might of Kalimdor. Together, they stood their ground as the gates of Ankiraj were opened, and the Kiraji poured forth in full force. It was a show-stopping, server-wide battle that ended up with the Kiraji retreating, and our assault into the temple of Ankiraj. The reason we're venturing to this faraway land at the edge of the world is to kill spiders and scorpions. More exactly, send Skitterer and Stonelash Scorpid, mobs with level between 54 and 56 and an appealing loot table. They are scattered across 30% of the Silithus area. Most of them are in the northeastern part of the map, right to the entrance from Angoro. The spawn points are so abundant this spot can host a couple of players. In terms of loot they drop, the table is quite balanced between grey items to vendor and white trade goods to sell on the auction house, or even further process with professions for a higher profit. The spiders drop the dripping spider mandible with 37% and the hard spider leg tip with 13%. Both grey stack in 5 and go to vendor for about 30 silver. Thick spider silk with 24%, shadow silk with 17%, but more important, iron web spider silk with 13%. This last one is a very important material used in crafting a variety of items such as core fellcloth bag, core hound belt, flare core leggings, goblin jumper cables XL, all the resistance gear, fire, nature and frost, and many more. Basically, this is a sought out ingredient for the whole lifespan of vanilla. The price of it can be anywhere between 8 and 20 gold per stack of 10, with fluctuations towards the high spectrum shortly after the launch of a fresh server due to people needing to craft the best in slot pieces. Then, at every major raid release for resistance gear such as Dreamscale Breastplate, Sylvan Nature Set, Glacial Frost Set, and of course ZG Patch for Bloodvine Set. Another item dropped by the spiders is the huge venom sack with 3% drop chance, used in creating the powerful anti-venom with first aid, an item that will dispel the majority of poison debuffs. This item might not be worth that much early on, but in time the average price will be between 80 silver and 1.5 gold each. The Scorpions dropped the large Scorpid Claw with about 52% chance. It stacks in 10 and vendors for 1 gold 40 silver. Glowing Scorpid Blood with 17% drop chance stacks in 10 and vendors for 2 gold 8 silver. This item can also be exchanged for Dark Moon tickets in order to acquire the Orb and Amulet of the Dark Moon. Check prices at the auction house before trying to vendor. They also dropped the huge Venom Sack with 2% chance, 1% lower than the Spiders. I've grinded this place with the Hunter for the duration of 1 elixir of Mongoose, exactly 1 hour. The Hunter was equipped with gear slightly better than a pre-best in slot setup. I didn't try too hard and it was more like a chill grind. The mobs were abundant and I didn't need to follow a particular rotation. The fun part was that these mobs consistently drop the items you want. At one point in 1 minute I managed to obtain 4 Iron Web Spider Silk, one after another, which is pretty crazy. Sold all the grey and green items to the vendor for 18 gold, and with the meat obtained from the grind I crafted stamina and spirit food buffs. More exactly, spider sausage which does not require spices, and mystery stew from the mystery meat. Sold the Iron Web Silk with 1 gold 10 silver each, the thick spider silk and shadow silk slightly above vendor price as they usually sell, and the huge venom sack with 98 silver, but keep in mind early game they could go cheaper. Made a total of 57 gold during the hour without getting any rare items or travelers backpacks. I could have squeezed more from disenchanting or selling the greens to the auction house, but for reasons of consistency they went to the vendor. The only real issue with this grinding spot is the distance you have to travel, but I guess if you go for a 2-hour session and then Hearthstone back to sell your items, it can still be a great way to earn some gold. If you want to maximize this spot, gathering professions come in handy as the place is filled with dreamfoil, thorium, and you could skin the scorpions for thick and rugged leather. Now, on our past episodes a lot of you expressed skepticism in the comments regarding the pricing and drop chances of items. How do I get them? How do I know that they will reflect reality in classic WoW? And the answer is, I don't know. But what I can tell you is that these numbers are researched. Whenever I price something on a guide, I check the average prices in the past year for 3 private servers, 1 mega server and 2 with average population. All 3 reflect similar fluctuations on the market, although the numbers are slightly different, but not by much. In terms of drop chances for items, these were researched by the Nostarius team for years as they tried to recreate the vanilla experience. Old archives from Alakazam and Totbot are still pretty accurate. Some numbers might be wrong, but not by a high margin. Nevertheless, these episodes are made for more of a guideline to follow and with purpose in mind to be entertaining. Take whatever piece of knowledge you can get and use it wisely to your advantage. This is it, I hope you enjoyed. As you might notice, YouTube does not recommend or send notification for all of the videos on a channel you're subscribed to. So, in the odd event where I make a video about news or something that does not fit your habits, you might not get notified. To remedy this, you can click the bell button right next to the subscribe one. If you have any questions, join my Discord, an invitation can be found in the description down below. When Classic goes live, you can find me on twitch.tv/Frostadamus, and if you like what we're doing here, you can support us by checking out our merch store. Thanks for watching, until next time, stay frosty.